All right, cool. It's 9 o'clock. Um, we'll get started. I appreciate everybody hopping on. I'm going to go over a little bit about what I want to talk about today. I think it's really, really important. Sorry, I thought I heard my daughter yelling. I think it's really, really important for quarterbacks in order to be successful that they have one of these. And I think that a lot of times as a younger quarterback, we are forgetful or we're not mindful enough of the things that we need to do pre-snap and before the game in order to be successful when the game starts. And I'm actually going to pull up 3 clips as we get going of uh, 2 of Deshaun and 1 of Patrick Mahomes of them being aware of the situation, what the defense is doing, and how it allowed them to be successful down in the red zone. And I think that no matter where we are on the field, being aware and cognizant of what the defense is doing will help us out tremendously. So what I'm going to talk about today is having a process. So every quarterback needs their own individual process so that they can be successful when they come to the line of scrimmage. If you were to ask somebody from America, hey, what do you do before you get ready to head out? And they were like, all right, I just get up, get out of bed, and I get going. You'd be like, all right, but what do you do? Then they start diving into details. They say, all right, well, first things first, I get up, I get out of bed, I walk over to the bathroom, I pull out my toothbrush, put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, brush my teeth, wash my face, comb my hair, put on some lotion, put my pants on, put my shirt on, do all these different things, make my cup of coffee, walk out of the car, start my engine, I'm off to work. If you ask somebody from the Amazon what they did, it'd be a lot different. Or an indigenous person or somebody who doesn't have necessarily the same technology, they would say, hey, I got up, I threw on my robe, and I got going, right? So when they say these things, these are just the steps they go through to be successful. They both can have a good day. However, they're not going to be prepared for everything that happens throughout it. As quarterbacks, we want to be the detail-oriented person so that we can know all the steps and all the processes that we go through so that we can be successful in every play so that we're never surprised about the things that are going on that the defense can give us. So I'm going to talk about someone like Deshaun Watson's process because I think he has a really good process, and he created this process throughout the years. The first thing that he does, at the conclusion of every play, you'll see him jog to the line of scrimmage because he wants to set the tempo of his team, right? He wants to jog from where the play just ended to their next play. As he's doing that, or as you guys are going to be doing this, your process is going to be a little bit different because you're not in the play call in your helmet. You will jog to the line of scrimmage. You'll find the coach. You'll find the call, right? So now the first thing we know is we know the down and distance. So the next play, the down and distance is 1st and 10. Cool. Now I'm looking over to my coach. The next piece of information that I want to get is, okay, what is the play call? Boom. The play call is this. Great. I come back. I start relaying that information to my teammates. Hey, guys, the play is this, whether I'm doing it in the huddle or at the line of scrimmage. All right, we got trips right. We're going to go 62. We're going to trips right, 62. Then we're going to go dagger. We're going to go X, gift. Right? So it's a really simple play call. It's going to let my guys on the right side know what they're doing. The guy on my left side know what he's doing. 62 will give us a protection. Cool. Now, as I just went through the 62 protection, the next thing I'm going to go through is, all right, I'm going to find the play clock. Cool. Now I know how much time is left before I need to get my guys going. Now I go from that. I can go to the boundary safety. Cool. The boundary safety is here. He's going to dictate a lot in terms of the defense, what they're going to give me, how they can affect the play. Cool. I went to the boundary safety. The next thing I want to go to the linebackers and the fronts. We talked about the fronts the first week, but the fronts are going to dictate coverage, exactly what the defense can be doing and how they can affect us. So now that we have all this information, we went from the play just ended, I jogged the line of scrimmage, I got the play call, I relayed the information, I found the clock, I know which time's left, I know what the weak side safety's doing. He relates to the field safety. Now I went to the linebackers. Are they in a regular 4-3? Are they bowed? Are they colted? And now I can go to the front. Are they in an over or are they in an under? All this information does is tell me where I can get pressure, who's going to make me hot. I relay that information to my team. Hey, even if your team does not necessarily throw hots or side adjust, hey, I'm letting my guys know. I know if these 2 guys come, that I can no longer be protected. So look, Mike and Sam come. I know my back has Mike. Sam comes. I'm going to have to throw hot, and this is how I'm going to protect myself in terms of not getting hit, unnecessary hits. And also, it just gives me a way that I'm aware When this comes, I need to get the ball in my hand. Goes to my cadence, boom, play starts. First thing I want to see is where does the boundary safety go? And then I move forward from there. Does anybody have any questions about that? You can write it in the chat really quickly because I'm going to go to a Deshaun Watson play where I think he did a really good job of this and it led to a touchdown. Doesn't look like we have any questions. Jason, I appreciate that. Cool. Let me share my screen. I'm getting talented at this, I'm not gonna lie to you. All right, cool. I think everybody can see the play that is up. What are my thoughts on the R4 system? I've never used it. I've never seen it. I mean, I've heard of it. I've never used it. So I don't really like to talk about things that I don't do or haven't used or haven't seen. I think it'd be unfair of me. I've grown under understanding offense in a few different ways. Right? Let me turn off my screen because this is something I wanted to get to today anyway. And thank you for asking. No, stop that share. Hold on. I need to. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that. Hold on. Okay, cool. I'm back. You just asked that. All right, I'll give you a simple explanation on the over, under, and boundary safety. I think we can see this board. The way that I grew up to understand football and the way that I was always taught is there's a few different types of offensive plays that you can have. You can have a pure progression play, a pure progression, or a PP. That lets you know that no matter what the defense provides you, I don't think we can see this board that well, so I'll stop using that. A pure progression play lets you know that no matter what the defense gives you, you're going to read the play the same exact way. So if I'm going to be running something like drive sail or sail drive, that's going to let me know that no matter what the defense is giving me, I'm going to be looking for the alert on the outside, right? The outside go, mandatory outside release, to the sail, to the shallow cross, to the basic, to the backside, deep post curl, or whatever we're going to be running on the backside. So that's how I know that I'm going to read that. I don't care if they went one high, they went two high, they went weak rotation, strong rotation. That play is read the same way every single time. Cool. Now there's progressions with options. A progression with an option is, to me, my option is if I have free access and I don't have weak side rotation, then I'm going to take that option, right? So let's say I'm now going to be running, let's just say we're going to be running drive to the three by one side. Let's say 3x1, one X receiver. Oh, my board is pretty visible, so let's run that. All right, we're going to go. This is going to be a 3x1 formation. I'm going to try and write big, and I really hate when people draw sloppy, but I'm trying to get this done. So if we can see that, I'm going to draw a 3x1, and I'm going to run a gift, speed of cutout, outside release, 12 yards. I'm going to run a shallow cross. I'm going to run a post, and I'm going to run a check, flat. Right, so that's going to give us, cool, I think we can see that. Cool, I think we can see that. So this is going to be an example of a progression with a progression with an option. I'm going to call it progression with an option. This would be our option, right? So now if we have free access to this X, and free access to us is going to mean our corner is going to be off and our will is inside the box, and this free safety, right? This is weak rotation. If anything's rotating to the weak side of the field, that's going to let you know that you have weak rotation. If we have this cornerback is off, this will is in the box, this is going to let us know that I can take this option, right? We call it a pure progression with an option. I'm going to take this option every single time. If I have a pure progression option, I have free access. I want to work to that side, right? I'm going to just take my X. I'm going to eliminate all the other confusion and all the concept of this route. Cool. So I'm going to draw this play up again. Leave the Z. Q. H. Right. Free safety. So now what do we have here? We've got a cloud corner here. So that eliminates our X, right? The X is gone. And now I'm going to work the progression on this concept. So it went from a progression with the option. We no longer have that because we have this cloud cornerback. Now we're going to just work our progression. So now for us, we'll still take this is typically a 5-step drop. We'll take our 5 steps and our eyes will start to that option. What that does is holds and manipulates this weak side linebacker, this Will, because again, he's outside the box. We're not free access. It holds him and allows us to come to our number 1. So a lot of times what people think is that people are looking off defenders. Typically what they're doing is they're just going through a concept. So he's looking here first. He's looking to our X, causes a Will to go. Now if this Mike works with our F on the shallow cross, right? Then we're going to work to our Y. So now we went 1, 2 to 3. I'm calling this 1 because my eyes are going to start there. I know he's no longer in the concept if we have that cloud coverage, and I'm simply going to be working shallow to basic to back. And that makes things really, really easy because I had a plan and I had a process when I came to the line of scrimmage. And the next play that I'm going to drop for you guys is going to be what's called a key read. You're working off a particular defender. And the play that we're going to be running is Hank. Hank is going to be a mirrored concept. Hank is going to be a mirrored concept, and it's just going to be curl flat. Boom. Boom. So this is curl flat. It's a very common concept, and we're always going to start here. This is going to be our 1, right? And this is called key read. Key lets you know that you're reading off a key defender. We're starting here. And all we're going to work away from is a squeeze. So we got Mike. We'll go Sam. Will. Strong safety. We're just imagine that they rolled down that strong side rotation. Free safeties in the middle of the field. So whichever one of these backers squeezes to take away the OTB or the over the ball, right? We work away from him. So if we squeeze to the Mike, we're going to now work our Will side because we know that our Will is now going to be in the bind that we talked about week 1, take away the curl to the flat, right? So those are the 3 types of reads that I've grown up in terms of my play calling and play understanding. R4, I've heard really good things about. So I'm sure it does a good job. What I like to do is put a lot of responsibility on my quarterbacks because I think that quarterbacks can understand it. I don't know if that does, but that's where I'm at, and that's what I want to do. And then we're going to go, the last thing is somebody asked for over, under, and boundary safety. So let's just say we're left upright or close to our near left hash. Our boundary safety is just going to be the safety that's closest to the boundary, right? So this would be the field. This is the boundary be our left. The field's going to be to our right. The easiest thing for a lot of quarterbacks to do is checking to the boundary side. So if we find this boundary safety, he's going to give us a lot of information. And then weak and strong rotation, I talked about a little bit before. Free safety, strong safety, corner, Sam, right, well. All these guys rotate on a string. So as one guy moves this way, boom, let's just say he moves that way, he'll move here, he'll move here, he'll move here. And that is strong rotation, right? They're rotating down to the strong side of the field. He'd go here, right? So it's just in terms of which safeties rotated down, strong side or weak side rotation. Over under fronts, I'm not going to talk about that because we talked about that a good bit the first week. So cool. I think we just covered some ground in terms of that. Anybody have any questions on that before I move to the play? Cool. I'm going to share. All right. We're going to talk about, this is cool. A great example of a quarterback understanding what is going on in the play. So the first thing that happens in this concept is we start with DeAndre Hopkins in the backfield, right? DeAndre Hopkins in the backfield, they motion him out. That gave us a really good bit of information. It let us know that this cornerback, I'll give you a little bit more information. It let us know that this cornerback right here is in man-to-man, right? We know that because he followed DeAndre Hopkins from in the backfield all the way out to the slot. Get this out of here. Cool. So now Deshaun ID'd the mic, right? He ID'd the mic. That's this guy right here. He's letting everybody know who to work to in protection. He knows that the coverage that he now has is man-to-man. Let me try and make this bigger. Sorry, hold on, guys. You know. Perfect. So now he knows the coverage that he has is man-to-man. He was originally thinking that he was going to be getting cover 0, so he made a 0 check. I only know this because I worked with Deshaun, and that's helpful in terms of getting that information. So he made a 0 check. He ends up getting just cover 1. The difference between 0 and 1 is 0, they're bringing more guys than you can block. Cover 1, they're bringing an equal amount of guys that you can block. So we're going to get this play. Pretty sure it's this play. We're going to get Kenny on a beeline here. He's just in a race. He's got outside technique. This guy's outside shade of him. He knows he can beat him. And I think this is a play we're going to get double ends by both of these guys. So we get going here. Boom. Kenny just wins a race. It's not a great route. All that, and the only thing Deshaun has to do is hold the free safety for a bit, right? So if you look at his eyes, DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best receivers in the NFL, he looks to the left, free safety has to freeze, and he knows he gets the opportunity to layer this ball over the defense. You have a little bit better view when we see it from the backside. So we motion him out. We know we get Adoree on DeAndre Hopkins. He IDs the mic, 54 is the mic. That means the 3 linemen, the center, the left guard, left tackle are going to be working at 54. Right guard, right tackle are going to be responsible for the 3 technique on the right and the defensive end outside to the right. He's going to manipulate the safety. Eyes start to left. As we can see, that forces that free safety to just freeze. And then he knows he's going to be throwing that ball immediately after. So that's a great example of a quarterback understanding what's going on, understanding what the defense is giving him so that he can immediately get the ball out and throw a touchdown in the red zone. Does anybody have any questions about that play? I can pull it back up. I'm seeing the chat right now, so if anybody has any questions, they didn't understand like some of the mic calls or the IDs or anything, that information, I got you. So I'm going to talk about how they identified the mic right there. Let me bring it back. Mic, guard. They went double three technique and tackle and strong safety, Sam, Mike, nickel. So in terms of IDing the mic right here, right? He has an option. Does he want to send the mic to the Sam, or does he want to make the true mic the mic, right? And he made this guy the mic. Now let's talk about why. I don't know if I can show you both my screen and this, so I'll just have it on the whiteboard to make it a little bit easier. So he made the true mic the mic. Let's talk about why. It's simply a numbers game. We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and they have 1, 2 to bring pressure. This strong safety, somebody has to be responsible for the Y, and somebody has to be responsible for the back. So he knows that those guys can't come. Otherwise, he'd be able to find an easy completion right now. So he turned the protection here. So he made these 3 responsible for 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 are going to be responsible for 1, 2, 3 here. Guard and tackle are going to be responsible for tackle in the end. And if he gets pressure from the Sam or the strong safety, he knows that he has the ability to make this throw because that's all they're running right there. He has a built-in hot there, and that was going to dictate his hot. If we would have had the back here, oh, my bad, shit. And we had that same personnel, Sam, strong safety, Mike, he'd have re-ID'd, he'd have took the mic, he'd have made the strong safety the mic and brought the protection here. And these 3 would have been responsible for 1, 2, 3. I mean, 1, 2, 3, and they'd have been able to sort it to the Sam linebacker, if that makes sense. I'm trying to give you a large bit of information in a short time. Yeah, pre-snap plan. I'm all about pre-snap plan. It really depends on how much you're going to put on the quarterback's shoulders, Mark. And what you want to do is figure out what's going to help them perform at the highest level. Everybody has their own. Hassan, I think it's Hussein. It's always important to identify the mic because you need to know where your linemen are working to, who's going to make you hot. Remember we talked about earlier, he's able to point to 2, hey, if both of these guys come, I know how to get the ball in my hands. When you said 3-by-1, how do you know which of these? That's really a game plan thing. Katie, what was the reason? He went 0 check because he got man and he felt like he could manipulate the safety. It was definitely a cover 1 look. He just felt like the safety was far enough off the hash that he could make the cover 0 check and he'd still be able to be successful because he knew he could manipulate with his eyes and get there. Cool. And that was the Tennessee Titans. I remember I talked about having a plan, studying your opponent. I'm going to bring up Patrick Mahomes versus the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans like to go cover 0 in the red zone, so every team is going to start getting their 0 checks together, right? They get their 0 checks together. So so that when they're in the red zone, they have a plan and they can operate against the Kansas City Chiefs because they know that they're going to be bringing the zero pressure. I only know that this is a zero check for them because I had the opportunity to talk to Mahomes after this game. Slight flex, big flex, whatever you want to call it. All right, cool. All right, I'll show you how he knew this is zero. As soon as we kind of go through and see from the back end, you can see Mahomes right here is identifying the mic. They have, remember we talked about it? 1, 2, 3, and they only have 2 receivers. So he knows he has to work the protection to the left, right? Because they don't have enough eligible receivers to protect them if they start bringing all 3 of those guys. Or if they bring one of them, they're still not going to be able to sort it. So they go motion. They already set the protection here. So these 3, 1, 2, 3. Cool. These 3 gentlemen, I think, hold on. Got it now. All right, never mind. I don't have it. Spotlight. Oh, shit. Never mind. We got 3 for 3. I can't do it. They brought more than they could protect. So same idea. They want to send one of the fastest guys in the NFL on a straight line to the front pylon, right? They know they got 0. Safety creeps down. All this is a race. Mahomes creates a little space, and it lobs it over. There's nothing that number 3 corner can do. Let me see if I can get. All right, I got it. So we have 1 here. We got a receiver outside. They have 1, 2, 3. Mahomes makes this the mic. So that's now going to be our mic. So we're working here to here to here, and we're going to push it off and we're going to get all the way out there. Cool. All right, he's alerting them. We got cover 0. We're taking it to the mic. You'll see how these guys sort it out. He works here. 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 They brought 1 more than we can block. That's what makes it cover 0. We don't have a chance. Like, there's nothing we can do. We have to get the ball out of our hands. Pat creates space. Lets the ball go, and they get a touchdown. So, no, if they can cover 0, that's where he's going on 0. I lost my board, ladies and gents. That's where he's going. The safety should be, or the cornerback, and I'm going to look at it again. I'm almost positive. Yeah, he's already inside take. He starts inside of Tyreek Hill. It's just my guy's going to be faster running a straight line than your guy's going to be able to backpedal, open up, and run that way. So there's really nothing they can do there. They're going to be in good shape, and they like their chances. 0 check. You don't have time to make reads. You just got to get the ball to your hands. Is there any more questions on that one? I think that makes sense. Sorry, I got my daughter crying. She's up a little late. It's not the way they ran this is a little bit different. They didn't the Houston Texans ran Colt. It's usually Colt Y corner. They just ran Colt Y over. That was their empty check. The Titans are going to run they just want to create a straight line, and they ran a version of drive out of this. So they ran drive in case they did not get cover 0 like they're anticipating. But seeing that guy in the dead sprint is very, very similar. Man coverage is a mandatory in cover 0. So he knew that because he knew they were going to bring more than they could cover. They didn't have any safety in the middle of the field. They were locked up everywhere else. Lucky. Cool. And I will go to the last Deshaun Watson play, and then I'm going to figure out if I can open it up to we can talk a little bit like we've been doing. I'm not sure if we have that capability now on this new system. All right, Tennessee Titans again. Um, this looks a lot like cover zero, right? We're anticipating cover zero here. Oh, I got a question. Yeah, what he said. No, he was going to turn the protection that way to the left, no matter what. They had 3 guys over there already, Mason Kaplan. So he had already identified the protection. The reason that they did that was to try and create conflict in case they had a press guy on Tyreek Hill, just to create more trash for him to go through. But they're going to be sliding their line to the left either way. All right, so this play by the Texans, he was thinking zero here. He didn't think cover 1. He really thought they were going to be in zero. This is a zero look all the way. He thought that the guy outside of the tight end could come. That would be 1. I like this one better. He was thinking 1, 2. I mean, this guy started down. He rotated late, so that got him. We got another backer here, and he thought he was going to be locked up on him, and he thought he was going to get in pressure. He did not get that. Most teams go into each game with a couple empty checks. This is their second empty check. We're going to be in the high red, and let's see him running here. So we got, right? His anticipation was he was going to get cover 0. He did not get cover 0. He got cover 1. Deshaun's going to try and hold this safety again with his eyes, hold him, come back at the last second. Kenny Stills ends up with 2 touchdowns. Let's see it from the back angle so we can see how we can manipulate safeties, especially if we have one high guy in the middle of the field. Our job when we get one high safety, that's their empty check. When we get one high safety, he's trying to split the 2 vertically traveling receivers, so he's trying to work back. Deshaun holds him with his eyes. As long as he makes him buzz his feet for just a split second, we're going to be in a situation where he felt like he'd be good to throw that ball. Does anybody have any questions on that play? If you write it in quick, I can rewind and show anything that you want on this individual play. They stayed in 0. Exactly. They're in 0. He's feeling really good about Hopkins because that's their straight line. Seth. Deshaun likes to keep his shoulders square when he drops back. Yeah, Seth, that's something that we talked about doing, and we think that it's helpful. If you'll see, Deshaun's not the only one who does that. Aaron Rodgers is somebody else who does that. We feel like that is going to create more rotational energy, so he will close his shoulders through the throw. So he closes it through the throw, and he can manipulate safeties a little bit better. So rather than our shoulders starting there, we just like to be able to close our shoulder through the motion, and that helps us out a good bit. I'll stop sharing the screen so I can talk. I think that would make sense to you, Seth. I've seen you do some stuff where I think throw art on Twitter. But yeah, he goes open and he closes through the throw. Yeah, if you don't have the question on the video, come back and ask that, and I'll get right to you. Yeah, so I'll show it one more time from his point of view. C makes a 0 checks, makes ID the mic, hold the safety, just hold him for a split second. This buzz feet is all you need in the NFL. Then we're coming right back to it. Cool. If anybody had any more questions pertaining to those videos, if not, you can ask away. Dalton, it's in terms of teaching guys things in cover 0, I just like to give them the answers, and I like to see people be successful doing it. I also am not a coach in the same way that some of you guys are in terms of Friday, Saturday nights, Friday nights typically. So I don't get into that. I just try and give them the tools to do it. When I'm working with guys like that, I want to show them the chunk plays that they could have had, and they don't want to miss those. Cool. Let me see if I can do this real quick. I think that we cool. I don't know how to do that. I wanted to make it so everybody could ask audio questions. If anybody has anything, of course, I want to be able to answer that. If not, you guys kind of know how we do it. Do we work on a deep post throw? A little bit, but I'm more. If you struggle throwing the deep ball, do you struggle? Quickly answer this. Do you struggle throwing the ball with touch, like with trajectory, or is it like a firm up and down? I understand you throwing the deep ball, but did you struggle throwing it like an up and down ball or a ball like with big touch? That's a big question or something that I need to know before I talk about how to work on that. So what you need to start what I shouldn't tell you what you need to start working on. What I would work on if I was in that situation is I got a couple drills that we do for big touch, but that's more about pace and angles, allowing your quarterbacks to understand like how to meet guys in terms of their pace and angles. And a lot of the guys who I work with in quarterback takeover struggle with it a lot because it's not something that they do a bunch. So you need to start having guys start like 25 yards down the field and run at different angles and different paces. Keep them at that same pace, same angle, and make the quarterback hit them. So if you got some like equipment manager or whatever, have them run, throw the ball, tell them don't change speeds. If they miss, they miss. Now you'll start seeing how far or how much you miss by. So you're missing by 5 yards, 7 yards. Cool. Now we need to understand how to throw a trajectory and meet them and intersect that point. That's what I do. I would work on that more than just throwing a deep post. Teach your guys how to judge pace, angle, and throw trajectory. Mari, that's such a broad question. It really determines the play has a lot to do that, but how would we know? We talked about that on like 2 videos ago, but you're in Atlanta. I would love to help you understand and see quarters. I also understand that high school quarters is a lot different than what you'll see in college, and I don't know high school quarters very well because they all just stand like 4 deep straight line. Feels like we're out of questions. No more questions. We all good? Well, thank you. All right. Appreciate everybody hopping on. We will be back next Wednesday. I got a special guest who played and was really successful in the NFL for a while. So I think you guys should look forward to that.